What's up, y'all? We are back for another one. It's been a couple of weeks. Man, I got busy and kind of slacked it off during the busy time, so got to make sure I stay on top of this. It's important. Y'all are important. All right. Today we are talking about unspoken expectations. It's going to be a quick little short. It's not going to be too long. But just unspoken expectations, the dangers of unspoken expectations. They really are dangerous, y'all. So let's jump right into it. Why are unspoken expectations dangerous? Well, it's already in the title. The unspoken, you're not saying it. So if you have an expectation and it's just in your head and you don't express it or tell the other person, how can they, unless by accident or just something that they are doing and that they know that you like and they've done it enough times to know, meet the expectation. But otherwise, if you have this expectation, the best and most clear way to always make sure it gets met is to speak, have communication, just talk about it, just put it out there. You know, because what happens is when you don't, and if they slip up and they don't meet this expectation that they don't even know it's there, or maybe they know, but they've forgotten, or life has gotten away, or they're just busy, or for whatever reason, now you have frustration built up, and now you're responding to them in anger and frustration, or you don't say anything at all. And if you don't say anything at all, now you're building up resentment, which is even worse. Because resentment is going to build up until it's going to come out in a very negative way, which you don't want. You know, because then you just blow up on them. Now you're blowing up on them about something that has nothing to do with anything. You know, you got all this resentment built up from all this stuff, and you blowing up on them because they left their socks on the ground. They're like, what? Because some socks? And you just going off because you just got all this built up resentment from all these things. And I told you not to leave your socks on the ground. And so... and it's not even that serious, but it is for you because of so many other things that you've let build up, right? Okay, so that's unmet expectations. Dangerous, very dangerous. The best thing is, of course, is communication. I always talk about it, and that's just modeling after, you know, God Himself. If you read the Bible, God has clearly laid out expectations that He has from us all throughout the Bible. That's pretty much the whole Bible. You know, telling him, well, it's not the whole Bible. He tells us about Him, tells us about His love for us, our salvation, and that. But there's definitely a whole lot of expectations from us on our part, and we're made in His image, so modeling after Him. So it's very, very important to get these expectations out, even if you've already told this person over and over and over again. We are human. We forget. Things happen. People are gonna forget. So sometimes you just gotta say things more than once. I mean, again, even in the Bible, things are said more than once. Sometimes right away. You know. For instance, the scripture, "Rejoice in the Lord. Again, I say, rejoice." Telling you the same thing right away in the same sentence, because emphasis, you know, to make sure you remember, because He knows that we're human, that we're going to forget, and hard times are going to come, things are going to happen, we're just going to forget. So if the God of the universe, you know, is telling us, you know, Jesus is telling us something twice in a row, expecting us to need to hear it more than once, have that same grace for your spouse or whoever you're talking to, whoever you're in a relationship with, your friends, you know, whatever relationship, have that same grace and know you're going to need to say things more than once and don't get frustrated because of it, right? You know, and some things you feel like you shouldn't have to say more than once because they should know, right? They should already know. But again, modeling after the same thing, you know, the Bible, some things we should already know, but it tells us in there, right? Like coming to mind the scripture, "I lay before you life and death, blessing and curse. Choose life." Like, you would think to know if someone lay before you, here's life, here's death, probably should choose life, but he felt it important enough to tell us choose life, even though you think that should be something that we would know. So again, have that same grace, even if you feel like it's something they should know. The best way to be sure is just to go ahead and put it out there. Just say it. Just have a clear expectation. Hey, you probably already know this, or I feel like you already know this, or you should. But just to make sure we're clear, I just wanted to let you know I was expecting this, And then y'all are on the same page, expectations are there, and if the other person is not in agreement with that, then y'all can have a conversation about it now, right? And make sure that y'all come into agreement and y'all are on the same page. All right, because you've heard it before, I'll say it again, none of us are mind readers, You think if we were, relationships would be so much more easier, but they probably wouldn't, because people will probably just act like they didn't even read it anyway. So the best thing is just to communicate. Men, I'm not gonna put everybody out there and generalize, but a lot of us have struggled with communication since we didn't learn it growing up. It just wasn't something, we weren't out there communicating about feelings and different things. It's just kind of how we weren't raised, not in my era, but it's the best thing you can do for your relationship. Just learn how to communicate. Push through that hard feeling when it's time to communicate. You're like, I don't want to, because it's going to come out anyway. You're going to have to, at some point in time, you're going to have to communicate anyway. So just do it up front when you can do it without all the negative feelings and all the things that come with it. Just push through. It'll make you a better person. It'll make your whole life will be just less stressed and easier if you can just push away that feeling, push through that hard, like that. I don't know if I want to say it's pride. Sometimes it is pride, though. Sometimes it's pride. If you feel embarrassed, or if you feel like whatever you've been told growing up. We all been told different things about expressing our feelings, but we know it's a very important thing. So push through. We can do this. I'm working on it. I'm getting better, and every time I push through and I work on it and I get better, I'm telling you, it just blesses my life and my relationships all the more. So keep pushing through, y'all. All right, that's all we got for today. But I love y'all. Stay blessed. I'll be back. It won't take 2 weeks this time with some more things about this. All right, peace.